let's say pawn to e6, and in the future you will play the bishop out to c6, where it will have a great file diagonal to attack on. And whoops, of course the other bishop goes to d6, attacking also on the diagonal to the king side of the board. Okay, let's go back. Well, that was the knight c3 lines. I think they're a bit dull, but you'll see them from time to time. Then the other move I consider slightly weak is knight to f3, where I recommend to take the pawn first on d5. This is for the system I play, which means the queen will not move to the standard square a5, but will move to h5 instead, attacking the king side. Okay, so for example, if moves here were played like knight to c3, queen to h5, bishop e2, bishop to g4, and now keep in mind that when pawn to h3 is played, you don't have to move your bishop at all, because the rook is hanging on h1. So you will see the move h3 played, and after that castles. So white here should definitely black should here try to get some space by playing knight to c6, after which white castles. And now still I would not remove the bishop from g4. This is because after white captures, black recaptures, and the h2 file will be very weak. And with moves like knight trying to capture the knight on f3, you will have mating chances. So I would recommend to just castle here with black. For example, if white takes, black takes, and now if pawn to d4, then here is just the beautiful move knight captures to d4. So d4 is a mistake. Oh wait, I'll show you why it's a mistake. For example, if bishop to e3, well, I don't have to tell you, this is going to be made very soon. And if captures, of course, it's also going to be checkmate. So pawn to d4 can't be played in this variation. Now what if, for example, this knight moves to the side? Well, your knight is attacked, so you have to do something about that. Which I would suggest pawn to f5, but I'm not completely sure about this variation. I just noticed. Let's engine check this for a moment. Okay. Okay, so this... Oh, wait, now I notice. Knight h2 of course can't be played because it will be checkmate. So the knight can't move at all. Okay. We're back. Okay, so the knight can't move, and your immediate threat is of course knight to d4, removing the knight on f3 and trying to checkmate. Okay, that's that for that variation. Well, that's the entire knight to f3 variation. Okay, so now we just have two moves left. I'll start first off with pawn to d4. Okay, pawn to d4. Here is the option to directly recapture the pawn on d5. I like to play the Portuguese gambit here, which is bishop to g4, attacking the queen, and white has to do something immediately here. Options are pawn to f3, knight to f3, bishop to e2, queen to d3 and bishop to b5. Well, the bishop to b5 lines I won't be going to explain because it's almost similar to the direct bishop to b5 instead of pawn to d4. So I won't going to be explaining that one. Okay. White is still up a pawn and white can keep the pawn, but it sacrifices a lot of development for it. The line to keep the pawn is as following: pawn to f3, bishop to f5. Here is the option for white to play pawn to g4, but it will only weaken his kingside more, so I wouldn't recommend that. Here still bishop b5 check, and after knight to d7, which of course threatens a6 and b5 if the bishop was to retreat and recapture the pawn. So white will play here c4 and keep the pawn. But as I already said, after a6 bishop moves back. Now black can try to attack the position of white after a move like e6. White captures, bishop, knight to c3, and here I would play queen to e6, after which pawn to d5, and now black can start to undermine white's position. You're down 2 pawns, but you have a comfortable attacking position. So for example, if knight was to move there, you have knight to c5, attacking the bishop again, and still you are threatening to or even undermine the pawn structure of white even more. And in this variations I would go castle kingside and play the other rook to d8. Okay, this looks a bit difficult, but black definitely has nice attacking lines here, so I wouldn't mind to play this. Okay, now let's go back to the starting position of the Portuguese gambit. Okay, that was pawn to f3, and of course the bishop to b5 check lines will also include pawn to f3 later and pawn to c4. So those lines are almost the same. Now what if white was to move his queen? Well,